Okay, I'm guessing that you're here to learn Trello for learning project management or to perhaps manage a tool for your client or for your employer or maybe your own personal project. Anyhow, I need to make sure that by the end of the video, you are all set to set up your own Trello workspace, your own Trello boards as well. And I will also make sure that I drop some pro tips for you so that you can present those boards very confidently. Make sure to stick till the end for those pro tips. And I'll try to keep this video as short as possible, so let's start. So we'll start with the sign up and pretty straightforward. I'm going to use my Gmail here, but you can also use via other login methods. There are loads of those here. And once we get in, you don't have to enter everything through these screens because you can simply just skip them and use these features later on. So let's proceed forward from there. And once you're done, you will be able to see the screen, which is inside your workspace and inside a board that Trello has already built for you. Now, what's a workspace? Workspace is like a broader project, or maybe for separate clients, you can have separate workspaces. And then under workspaces, you will have different boards. Those boards can be for separate teams or separate mini projects inside a certain company or, a bigger project as well. And then inside the board, you will have cards and we'll go through those as well, but I hope you understand the hierarchy here. Let's start with one board, and here I do not recommend going with some sort of template to begin with. I want you to think your own swim lanes. These are the swim lanes. These columns are called as swim lanes as well, and I want you to think the workflow within your team, how ideally things should work, and based on that think of some swim lanes that you can begin with, and after that of course you can shift them or add or even subtract them in the future as well. So we'll start here, and here I'm going to create, let's say, a backlog and then maybe some swim lanes for pipeline or backlog, and then to do, doing, and then done. So this ensures that at least I have something where I am putting all of my ideas, and then from those ideas some are picked and then put in to do, and then from to do they are put into doing by the person who is already executing it, and then it's going to be in done. So these are the different swim lanes, and under these swim lanes there will be different cards. So these cards are essentially like the broader tasks as well that you can say for specific team members, or they can also be for a group of team members. Now under this card I'm going to give you an example of one card, how I'm going to create that. So let's say I've now created the board, given it a name as well, I've put the swim lanes, and then I'm going to create a card and give it a title. Now this title will explain what the task is, and I can assign it to multiple members or a single member or even to myself. For example, if I am going to be responsible for this certain task, then I'm going to add some description or some more context to it, and then this card at least have some details about what the task is. If I am the project manager or if I'm the person who is owning the task, I can also put the due dates here, and it gives me, alarms and emails and other alerts as well. So this is a pretty useful functionality, due dates, and I'll also explain another use case of the due date later on. Now that you know about the due date, you know about the description, you can also add attachments as files or as links. Let's say you want to attach a Google Doc or maybe a website link as well, you can attach that as well, so that it becomes easy for the person who is doing the task to have everything on one card itself. And that should be the goal as well. That is why we are trying to be very comprehensive with each certain card. Another feature I like in Trello cards is that of labels. So of course you can pick the colors and you can also give names to those labels. So here what I've done is I've given, let's say, version names or even the teams that are going to be responsible for this certain card. And let's say operations team, design team, whoever is going to take it up, they are also put on the label. Then we go through the checklist feature, which is again one of my favorites, and that is because in this feature, we are able to create mini tasks within this bigger task. So here within the checklist, for example, I'm going to add some further tinier items, and this card cannot be closed until all of these checklist items are done, and that should be the best practice that your team also follows. So you can add all of these multiple mini tasks as well into your checklist. You can add multiple checklists also within a Trello card. So here is one checklist, and then I can create another checklist as well, just to show you that you can add further subtasks as well, and it becomes really clean and really tidy if you do that. And finally, to cover everything that happens in the card, we also have the version history and comments. So version history is automatically created when any change is done to this ticket. So if anybody moves the ticket, adds description, removes description, changes anything, it becomes under the version. And then you can also add comments, so you don't have to talk about random things wherever you are, for example on Skype or Slack, wherever you're managing the communication of the project. So instead of that, comment here on the ticket itself, so all the conversations related to that ticket stay here. So here, now going through it again, we are able to edit the name of the board, we are able to mark it as favorite, so that if you have too many in the future, you are able to mark it as favorite as well. And then you're also able to change the permissions to this certain board, so whom it is visible to. Is it visible to the entire workspace, all of the people that are there, or only to this certain board, whoever is invited here, or even to the public? So power-ups and automations are actually in the paid model, so maybe I'll cover it in some other video in the future. But for now, let me get to the filters. So filters are super helpful, especially when you're going through the entire board team-wise, or maybe date-wise as well. So we want to say, let's say we want to plan out the next week only. So you can filter by the due date, and then you can also go through all of the items that are planned out for the next week. Next, you are also able to filter by the member name. So maybe you are having a one-to-one conversation with one certain member and you want to go through all the tickets that that certain member is responsible for. You can filter by that as well. You can even add your own name just to be focused on only your own tasks and not see everything else. You can also filter by your own name as the member name. Then now coming back to the labels. So labels are super helpful because you are able to again filter by the labels as well. So let's say I want to see only the design and development cards, and then I'm able to only filter those labels and see the cards that are there for this certain team. So that's on the filters, and finally you're able to see your own profile, and you're also able to share this board with another team member if you want to add them, or even have a link to it if you want to share this link with other team members. So now you know what is a workspace, you know what is a board, you can create multiple boards. Now you also know what are swim lanes, and you know what are cards, and you also finally know what are checklists under the cards. You can customize the cards, and the more detailed the cards are, the more helpful it is for your team members to stay here and manage all of the project here itself on Trello, instead of jumping here and there for different resources or even on different communication channels. And finally, coming to the section of pro tips, I want to share these pro tips from my experience, and these will make you look confident and make you look really sorted and organized as well. So let's start with the first one. The first one is that you can also create a Slack channel and connect Trello updates with Slack. So you can easily do that using the add-ons in Slack itself as an app, or even from Trello, you are able to do that. Definitely try it out if your team is already using Slack. The second tip I want to give is you will get a lot of emails from Trello if you have subscribed to the cards. So make sure that you create a separate label or a separate folder for all the Trello tickets that you're getting in your Gmail, so it stays sorted and organized. And finally, especially if you're an aspiring project manager and you feel like you're learning this tool to become a manager in the future, even if it is a social media manager or operations manager, etc., I would highly recommend think of a dummy project. Let's say here I'm thinking of e-commerce website, right? So think of a dummy project in very detail and try to create a whole plan out of it, a whole Trello board, even multiple boards if required, and try to create a video, a Loom video explaining all of that, and that can become your portfolio that you can share with your future employers or your future client. I hope this video was useful, and if you have any specific questions about certain features in Trello, please do comment below and share why you were here to watch this video and if you got any value out of it. Thank you so much, and see you in another one.